Have you ever felt a profound silence in your prayers, as if God's voice were muffled by a heavy curtain? Perhaps you've encountered an insurmountable obstacle on your life's journey, a roadblock that seems impassable. Or maybe you've experienced a sense of restraint, as if an unseen force were holding you back, asking you to wait. If any of these scenarios resonate with you, know that you're not alone. Many believers have faced similar challenges, and their experiences offer valuable insights. The truth is, God often speaks to us in the most unexpected ways. Sometimes his voice is not a thunderous proclamation or a clear, audible instruction. Instead, it's a subtle whisper, a gentle nudge, or a profound sense of peace amidst chaos. In these moments, it may feel as though God is silent, but the reality is that he's speaking volumes through the circumstances of your life. One of the most challenging aspects of our faith is learning to discern God's voice amidst the noise and confusion of the world. It's easy to become discouraged when our prayers seem unanswered or our plans thwarted. However, it's essential to remember that God's ways are not always our ways. His timing is perfect, and his plans are always for our good. In this video, I'll reveal 7 specific ways God may communicate a no to you. These insights will help you understand his divine wisdom and trust his plan even when it doesn't align with your expectations. By learning to recognize God's voice in the midst of silence, you'll embark on a transformative journey of faith, discovering a deeper connection with the divine and a renewed sense of purpose. So I invite you to watch this video to the end and unlock the secrets of divine communication. As you delve into these 7 revealing truths, you'll gain a newfound appreciation for God's mysterious ways and experience a profound transformation in your understanding of faith. Remember, God's silence is never a sign of indifference. It's often a prelude to something extraordinary. Trust in his timing, embrace his plan, and watch as your life unfolds in miraculous ways. When it comes to discerning God's will for our lives, one of the ways he might communicate no to us is through closed doors. This can be a challenging concept to grasp, especially when we have invested significant effort, prayers, and hopes into an opportunity. It's like reaching out for a door handle only to find it firmly shut, leaving us puzzled and disappointed. The Bible offers a poignant example of this in Acts 16:6-7, where Paul and his companions encountered closed doors during their missionary journey. They had planned to preach the word in the province of Asia, but the Holy Spirit kept them from doing so. Additionally, when they attempted to enter Bithynia, the Spirit of Jesus would not allow them. These closed doors might have seemed discouraging at the time, but in hindsight, we can see God's wisdom and sovereignty at work. He was redirecting Paul and his team to where they were truly needed: Macedonia. It was in Macedonia that the gospel would be received with open hearts and bear abundant fruit. Closed doors, therefore, are not necessarily rejections from God, but rather redirections toward his purpose for our lives. They are not meant to discourage or dishearten us, but to guide us onto a path that aligns more closely with his will. It's crucial to remember that God's perspective is broader than ours. He sees the big picture, the long-term implications, and the far-reaching consequences of our choices. His closed doors might be a temporary disappointment, but they are ultimately for our benefit and his glory. When we encounter closed doors, it's essential to seek God's wisdom and understanding. We need to humble ourselves before him, surrender our desires, and ask for his guidance. It's through prayer, reflection, and seeking counsel from mature believers that we can gain clarity and insight into God's purpose for our lives. So the next time you face a closed door, remember that it might not be a sign of rejection, but rather a redirection. Trust in God's sovereignty and seek his will above your own. With time, you'll come to appreciate the wisdom of closed doors and the beauty of God's perfect plan unfolding in your life. The second way God might say no is through a lack of peace. Paying attention to the presence or absence of peace plays a crucial role in decision-making. The Bible, specifically in Colossians 3:15, emphasizes the importance of allowing the peace of Christ to rule in one's heart. This verse reminds believers to align their choices and decision-making processes with the peace that comes from God. If, despite sincere prayer and seeking God's guidance, an individual continues to experience deep unease or anxiety about a particular choice, it could be interpreted as God gently nudging them towards a no. The absence of peace may serve as an indicator that the path being considered is not in accordance with God's perfect will. Conversely, when something is truly aligned with God's purpose, a deep sense of inner peace often accompanies it. This peace is not dependent on external circumstances or challenges. Rather, it is a profound assurance that God is in control and His plan is unfolding perfectly. It is like a compass guiding the believer towards the path that leads to his best. It's important to understand that God's communication through peace is not a rigid formula. Every believer's journey is unique, and God may communicate in different ways to different individuals. However, the presence or absence of peace can be a valuable indicator in decision-making. When God is saying no, persistent discomfort or unease may be experienced. This discomfort can be interpreted as His loving way of protecting His children from pursuing something that is not in their best interest. God's love and care are evident in His gentle nudges, guiding His children away from potential harm or disappointment. Discerning God's will through peace is not a one-time event. It is an ongoing process that requires daily surrender and seeking God's guidance in every decision. Believers are encouraged to cultivate a habit of prayer, meditation, and listening to God's voice. Through these practices, they can develop a greater sensitivity to God's leading and align their choices with His perfect will and purpose for their lives. The third way God might communicate a no is through repeated warnings in Scripture. The Bible, as described in Hebrews 4:12, is a living and active entity that God often uses to speak directly to us. When a particular verse or theme persistently appears in our reading, sermons, or through other individuals, it could be a sign that God is trying to capture our attention and warn us against a specific path. One example of such a warning is found in Proverbs 16:25, which states, "There is a way that appears to be right, but in the end, it leads to death." This verse cautions us against the deceptive nature of certain choices that may initially seem appealing, but ultimately lead to negative consequences. If we repeatedly encounter verses that caution against a particular decision we are contemplating, it is wise to take heed. God may be using His word to gently yet firmly communicate a no to us. Additionally, God's use of repeated warnings in Scripture is not limited to specific verses or themes. He may also employ various narrative accounts or parables to convey His disapproval of certain actions or lifestyles. For instance, the story of the prodigal son in Luke 15 illustrates the dangers of pursuing a life of reckless abandon and the consequences of straying from God's path. Through these narratives, God provides examples of individuals who made poor choices and experienced the negative repercussions of their actions. By learning from these stories, we can avoid repeating the same mistakes and discern God's will for our lives more clearly. Furthermore, the repeated warnings in Scripture serve as a reminder that God is deeply invested in our well-being and desires the best for us. He knows the potential pitfalls and challenges we will face and seeks to protect us from harm. When we encounter these warnings, it is an opportunity to realign our hearts and minds with God's purposes and to choose a path that leads to life and flourishing. God's communication of a no through repeated warnings in Scripture is a testament to His love and care for us. By paying attention to these warnings and seeking wisdom from His Word, we can make informed decisions that align with His will and experience the fullness of life He has planned for us. God's guidance in our lives often extends beyond direct verbal communication. One subtle yet profound way He might communicate no is through red flags in our circumstances. These are those subtle or not so subtle signs that something isn't quite right. They can manifest in various aspects of our lives, whether it's a relationship, a job opportunity, or a major life decision. When we find ourselves consistently noticing inconsistencies, unethical practices, or obstacles that feel more like warnings than challenges, it's crucial to pay attention. These red flags are often God's subtle way of nudging us to reconsider our path. He knows what's best for us and wants to protect us from harm. The story of Balaam in Numbers 22 beautifully illustrates this concept. Despite God's clear instructions not to curse Israel, Balaam stubbornly persisted on his journey. Along the way, his donkey saw an angel blocking the path and refused to move forward. Balaam, blinded by his stubbornness, didn't recognize the warning until God opened his eyes. Similarly, the obstacles and red flags in our path may be God's way of setting up divine roadblocks to protect us from harm. They might indicate that the path we're considering isn't aligned with His will for our lives. By paying attention to these signs, we can avoid potential pitfalls and make choices that align with God's desires. It's important to remember that God's no is not a rejection, but a redirection. When He closes one door, He opens another, leading us toward opportunities and experiences that are better suited for our growth and fulfillment. Trusting in His wisdom and sovereignty allows us to embrace His guidance and find true purpose and peace in our lives. God's voice sometimes whispers through the language of provision. When He chooses to withhold resources, whether they be financial, emotional, or physical, it could be His gentle way of saying no to a path you're pursuing. Consider the story of Elijah, a prophet of old, as recorded in 1 Kings 17. In a time of drought, God miraculously sustained Elijah by sending ravens to bring him bread and meat each morning and evening. This divine provision was a testament to God's faithfulness and care for His servant. However, when the brook where Elijah was residing dried up, it became a clear signal from God that it was time for him to move on. In the same manner, when you find yourself lacking the necessary resources to pursue a certain path, it might be God's way of redirecting you. He may be showing you that your current course of action is not in alignment with His plan for your life. It's important to note that God's no is never a sign of rejection or disapproval. Rather, it's an expression of His love and wisdom. He knows what is best for you, even when you don't. When He says no to something, He may be protecting you from harm, disappointment, or even failure. Instead of stubbornly persisting in a direction that God has closed off, take some time to reflect and pray. Seek His guidance and ask Him to reveal His will for your life. It may be that He has a better plan for you, one that you could never have imagined on your own. Remember, God's ways are higher than our ways, and His thoughts are higher than our thoughts. Isaiah 55:9. When He says no to something, it's an opportunity for you to trust in His wisdom and sovereignty. Embrace His leading, and He will guide you to the path of purpose, fulfillment, and blessing. God's guidance often weaves through the counsel of others. Proverbs 11:14 serves as a timeless reminder, underscoring the significance of seeking wise advice. Where there is no counsel, the people fall, but in the multitude of counselors there is safety. This profound verse illuminates the notion that God's divine will can manifest through the wisdom and perspectives of trusted individuals in our lives. At times when our own vision may be clouded by emotions or limited understanding, God's no might be conveyed through the discerning counsel of those who possess a broader perspective. These wise and trusted individuals, like sentinels standing watch, can discern potential pitfalls and obstacles that might otherwise go unnoticed. Their insights can serve as a beacon, guiding us away from decisions that could lead us down treacherous paths. When godly people consistently offer advice, urging caution, or suggesting reconsideration of our plans, it is prudent to lend an attentive ear. God often employs the wisdom of others as a conduit to steer us away from choices that could result in harm or heartache. Their counsel, like a celestial compass, can help us navigate the complexities of life's crossroads, ensuring that our steps align with God's divine plan. However, it is essential to discern the source of counsel. Not all advice, even if well-intentioned, is aligned with God's will. Some may stem from personal agendas, biases, or limited understanding. Therefore, it is imperative to seek guidance from individuals who possess a genuine love for God, a deep understanding of His Word, and a heart that seeks His glory above all else. In seeking counsel, humility is paramount. It requires a willingness to set aside pride and preconceived notions, recognizing that God's wisdom can be revealed through others. When we approach the counsel of others with an open mind and a teachable spirit, we position ourselves to receive the insights and wisdom that God desires to impart. Ultimately, while counsel from godly individuals can be invaluable, the final decision always rests with us. Each of us must prayerfully consider the advice we have received, seeking God's confirmation and guidance. It is through this combination of seeking counsel, discerning its source, and ultimately aligning our choices with God's will that we can navigate life's complexities with confidence, knowing that we are walking in His perfect plan. One of the most personal and profound methods through which God may convey His will is through a strong inner conviction. This is not merely a fleeting emotion or a momentary hunch. Rather, it is a deep and unwavering sense that something is not aligned with His purpose for your life. It's as though your spirit is being pressed upon, and an undeniable knowing washes over you that moving forward in a particular direction would be contrary to God's will. Envision a scenario where you are contemplating a significant life decision, such as accepting a job offer or embarking on a romantic relationship. Initially, you may feel excited and hopeful about the opportunity. However, as you seek God's guidance, a subtle but persistent unease begins to grow within you. It's not a fear or anxiety based on external factors. Rather, it's an inner conviction that nudges you to reconsider your path. This conviction is not solely based on personal preferences or desires, but is rooted in your relationship with God. He knows your heart, your dreams, and the plans He has for you. If something is not in line with His purpose for your life, He will gently but firmly guide you away from it. It may not always be easy to discern, but as you attune your heart to His voice, you will become increasingly sensitive to His leading. In the book of Acts, we encounter a compelling example of this inner conviction at work. In Acts 20:22-23, the Apostle Paul speaks of being compelled by the Spirit to go to Jerusalem. Despite knowing that hardships and imprisonment awaited him there, he felt an overwhelming conviction that this was the path God had ordained for him. His inner conviction was so powerful that it overruled any fear or doubt he may have harbored. Similarly, when God is saying no to something in your life, you might experience a conviction so strong and compelling that it overpowers any desire to move forward with your own plans. It may be accompanied by a sense of peace or an assurance that, although you may not fully comprehend the reasons behind God's decision, it is for your ultimate good and the fulfillment of His purpose. Heeding this inner conviction is not always easy, especially when it conflicts with your desires or ambitions. It may require you to surrender your cherished dreams and plans, embrace uncertainty, and trust in God's wisdom and timing. However, as you choose obedience over your own will, you will discover a deeper level of intimacy with God and a newfound confidence in His unfailing love and guidance. As we reach the conclusion of our video, I invite you to embark on a journey of reflection. Consider the instances in your life where God may have uttered the word no. It is possible that at the time you did not comprehend the reason behind His decision, but looking back with the clarity of hindsight, you can now recognize the wisdom and love embedded within that rejection. It is essential to remember that God's no is not a form of punishment, but rather a gentle redirection towards a path that is better aligned with His purpose for your life. In the book of James, chapter 1, verse 5, we are reminded that if any of us lack wisdom, we should turn to God, who gives generously to all without judgment. When faced with uncertainty, we are encouraged to seek Him earnestly through prayer, asking for wisdom and clarity. It is crucial to remain open to His response, even if it is not the answer we had hoped for. Sometimes God's no is the most loving answer He can give. It may protect us from harm, guide us away from paths that would lead us astray, or prepare us for something greater that lies ahead. When we trust in His infinite wisdom and love, we can rest assured that His no is always for our ultimate good. So as you reflect on the times when God said no, I urge you to embrace them as opportunities for growth, learning, and the deepening of your faith. Trust that He is always working behind the scenes, weaving together the tapestry of your life with intricate care and precision. His no may not be what you wanted at the time, but it is always what you needed to become the person He created you to be.